All right, hello everyone. It is the 21st, so it's near the end of the month, and I don't think I'm going to have a game this month. I still think it's been a very productive month in a lot of ways, but the main thing I did was this editor, which I'm going to put up on GitHub today. And if you want to use it, feel free to use it. I don't know that anybody cares, but there you go. I have a bunch of things that I've added. So, for instance, this one here is a part of the inventory system. I added an inventory system. It's based a little bit on the system that Minecraft uses with stacks and inventory items. All you really have to do is you have to make an item that has a Marrow inventory and a size for that inventory, and that size is the number of items, and each stack is an item that can contain a stack of items. And then you have things like this. So I've added, you've seen the interact one, and here we have the item count button, item count node, which is a value node. Value nodes have a value. There are also string nodes. All value nodes are string nodes and therefore have a representation of them that are passed to the stuff here. Part of the inventory thing, you have an item count thing. You can count stacks separately, or you can count them like this, in which case you get the total number of items within an inventory. You need to tell it which object has that inventory. Over here you have just a number. That's all it is. So we're going to compare A to B. This compares the input in A to the input in B, and you can check here. Greater than, greater than, equal to, etc., etc. If it's true, it's going to go up here. We're going to say you got enough already. Otherwise, we can do things like grant this item here. So we're going to grant 10. And we're going to grant it as a stack. So each one that we click on is going to make a new stack of 10. You can say merge stacks, so that way they'll merge together, so that if you have two stacks of 10, they'll just kind of squish together into one stack. And things have a stack size, and that stack size is based on the class of item that you're using. I also have things like the concatenate string, which is pretty clever, I think, or useful. You can take in any number of inputs, say 2 or 3 inputs, right? And each one here can be represented like this, right? So if you put in these things in little curly braces, you can take input from 0, and that'll basically do that. Now there's no string generator because I don't think it's necessary. So you can just say you have, right? And then you have an inventory one that's item count, right? And whoops, it's a little, let's undo that. Sphere, item name could be test item because that's all I have right now, and there you go, right? So now it's going to say you have however many things it's going to have in this value. Now this value doesn't go anywhere unless you actually have an output going somewhere, but yep. So it's here, it exists, it works just fine, or rather I think it works fine. I haven't tried anything. I've got some arithmetic operators, some increment and decrement things, just to be useful. This is all stuff that's very basic. If you have to do complex math, you should do a custom node, because I made it as simple as I could to write a custom node. All you have to do is inherit from a Marrow node, or one of the other nodes that inherits from that, like input and output, etc. Oh, I have other ones here for input. I have the proximity and location node. Proximity node, for instance, triggers or is true when this object is close to this other object within a certain distance. In both the proximity, location is the same, only you can choose a location. Proximity is the same, or both of them have an is trigger, which means they'll be checked every update and will trigger and therefore start off all the stuff. Right? So you could say, you know, if you're close to the item. So the idea would be that if the player gets close to this, you can trigger something to happen. And then you simply go to the output and you make a broadcast that'll send something. Yeah, I'm going to put it up on GitHub. If anybody wants to use it, that's fine. If not, I'm probably going to use it in my Ludum Dare stuff. So just a few thoughts. I guess I was pretty disappointed in the scores I got. They were not bad though. It was all like, I don't know, like a C, right? It's like 70th. It's decent, but it's not great. A bit of an annoyance though is the number of people who posted positive feedback and very nice comments, and then their scores couldn't reflect it, because the number of scores I got was not significantly higher than the number of comments that I got. And so, for instance, if you say, oh, I really like the graphics, and the graphics are an average of 3, that means that most people either rated it 3, but said they rated it higher, or some people rated them really low and some people rated them really high. I don't know which was the case. I think that most people rating it average is probably more likely, because I don't think that many people would rate it a 1 or 2. Although, by the way, you should not rate humor and mood 1s or 2s if a game is not humorous. It's not. Likewise, you should not rate a sound as being 1 if, you know what, it's really, oh, for God's sake, go away. You should, I think they need to change the way that they do the ratings, because it's really confusing, right? Because should a 1 be bad, or should it be the lowest you can score something? Because right now, you can score things not applicable if something doesn't have graphics. You can score things non-applicable if it doesn't have music. However, when should it get 1? Should it get a 1 if it has any music but it's not good? I don't know. Or in this case, should you score it a 1 for humor because the game has no particular humor in it? I don't know. I really like Ludum Dare and I want to keep doing it, but I also find it very frustrating. Positivity is awesome, and it's really helpful. I love it when people praise me and say, oh, that's really good. But not if it comes off as insincere. And I felt there was a little bit of that it was people being positive because they wanted it to be kind of a positive vibe, but that also meant that they weren't necessarily being sincere, and they were rating things that, when it came down to how they honestly felt, they felt differently, and it's not helpful. You can't fix things based on that kind of feedback. So anyway, I will be working on additional stuff with some people, and so that'll be part of it. I don't know what I'm going to do next month. I have no idea. I have some ideas, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit frustrated and down with the whole 1 game a month thing. And with game dev in general. And, you know, I don't, maybe I need an easy project to build confidence. Maybe I need to do more team projects so that it's not just me feeling like I'm failing or not doing well enough. I honestly don't know. I don't really know what the solution is here. It's tricky, because I know objectively that I've gotten far, far better at coding and doing stuff, but there's that difference between when you're just starting and you're like, hey, look, I can make a game, and the point where it's like, okay, but you need to make a good game, and I'm not at the point where any of the games I've made are objectively good. I don't really know how to resolve that. So Nice thing is, because Unity has just gone free to do mobile games, one of the games that I did for the Adventure Time game jam, I've always wanted to do it as a mobile game, but I couldn't really do it because of the fact that I upgraded to Unity 4, which meant my Unity 3 license went away, which is what I had Android on, because at one point that was free. I don't have any iOS devices, so I can't do an iOS game. But yeah, if you're interested in this, feel free to use it. Feel free to play with it. Feel free to submit bug reports and pull requests on the GitHub repository. The idea is it's going to be useful for making stuff in games. So that's the other thing I've realized, is that I'm not very good at doing mechanics. I'm not a very good mechanics programmer, and I'm not a very good mechanics designer. I don't really get the numbers behind it. I don't have much of a notion for that. I'm much better when I deal with content. When I'm writing or kind of building things, I guess, is what I'm much more comfortable doing than programming systems. So the goal with this is that with future games, I can do more adventure type games and more content-based games, and do them much quicker, so that I don't have to write scripts for every single everything that I want to be said in a game should not have to have its own individual script. I want a flexible way to do things. So this is what Marrow is for. I hope to work on Zomega. I don't know if that's going to be what I'm going to work on right now, mostly because it's story driven, and I don't have the story quite in my mind. I have an idea of where it should go, but I don't have it there yet. Maybe I'll do an adventure game for mobile devices. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try working on the let me see if I can pull this up here. The Adventure Time Game Jam. The Adventure Time Game Jam game that I did. It's called This Cosmic Dance. Let's see if I can pull it up. There you go. Looks like this. Obviously, I cannot use Finn and Jake. It's not a Finn and Jake sort of game, but I do have the rights to it, so yay. So think of it like Pipe Dream, except that you have a character that you're guiding around. All right. Yeah, so that's the basic idea. I know how I want to change the gameplay to make it better. And tentative title is Super Space Scouts. You're not playing Finn, you're playing basically a Girl Scout in space who is traveling through an alien land, and you're trying to gather things and avoid enemies and stuff. Based a little bit on Crater Maze, which I guess was a Doraemon game in Japan, but if you ever played Crater Maze on the TG16, that's kind of my thinking for it. All right, so that's about it. Sorry, this one was a bit of a downer, but can't always be positive about everything. See you guys later.